Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today with the CBSO Spotlight Series. So today I'm very pleased to be interviewing Tina Shivers. Did I say your last name correct?
Sievers, yes.
Sievers. Okay, so she will be performing at our upcoming piano party concert and piano party open rehearsal in the afternoon on Saturday, April 18th. So, Tina, it's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. And to start with, can you tell us a little bit about when you first began playing the violin and what sparked your passion for music?
Yeah, so I first started playing the violin when I was 3 years old. And I started because I have two older sisters who also started the violin when they were younger. And so it was like as they grew out of their clothes and their small violins, they both got passed down to me pretty much. Yeah. And what really sparked my passion for music, what really made me fall in love with music, um, well, I had always loved playing music as a child, but then I also especially playing music with my sisters. But what really made me fall in love with music was when I was in grade 5 or grade 6, and I found a recording on YouTube of Julia Fisher's recording of Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto in D major. And that's what really, and I'm not exactly sure what it was about that piece that or what about her playing that made me fall in love with music, but uh I was so immersed in her music and I just loved it so much.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's great. That's great. So you've already so who have been your musical instructors and how have they shaped your development as a violinist?
Yeah. So I first started under Wendy Sarah Valley Smith. And I studied the Suzuki method with her. And I studied with her for about 10 years. She really helped me build a really strong foundation in my playing, and she taught me great things like beautiful heart, beautiful sound, which is one of the main principles in the Suzuki method. And right now, I'm studying with Mayumi Seiler at the Taylor Academy. I've been studying with her for about 3 years now, and she's been really helping me expand my musicality and my repertoire to move on to the next step of my career in the future.
No, that's wonderful. And just for those who that do not know, what or where is the Taylor Academy?
The Taylor Academy, or the Phil and Ellie Taylor Performance Academy for young musicians, is young artists. Sorry, is the pre-college program to the Glenn Gould School at the Royal Conservatory of Music.
In downtown Toronto. Yes, yeah. That great. Thanks you so much for clarifying that. So, you've already performed with some incredible ensembles like the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. Can you share one performance that really stood out to you and why?
Well, the performing with the TSO was definitely a performance that stood out to me. It was about two Christmases ago. It was really incredible. They wanted two musicians from the Toronto Symphony Youth Orchestra to perform the Jesu Bambino for their Holiday Pops concert. And it was so incredible to be able to perform with the TSO and have perform solo with the TSO at Roy Thompson Hall. And so that definitely stood out to me. But another performance that's really close to my heart was during the pandemic. And my sisters and I, we decided to perform on driveways and outside senior homes for people because that time it was people couldn't go outside and people were really isolated, and so we wanted to bring that hope and that joy of music, and it was
That's
so great
great.
because it really showed me how big of an impact that music has on people, especially during that time.
Yeah, music is medicine, right?
Yeah.
We were all suffering, we're all depressed, we were all thinking this is the end of the world. Am I going to have to live inside the rest of my life? So that's very, very helpful and great that you did that. So you're the concerto winner of the 2025 North York Music Festival. Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
what does this achievement mean to you at this point in your musical journey?
Well, this is actually the first concerto competition that I've won that where I get to perform with an orchestra. So I'm really looking forward to performing with the orchestra, but I'm also really looking forward to getting to see how the rehearsals go, and getting the directions from Maestro McDonald, and just really seeing how the piece can come together. I'm really
Right.
excited about that.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So, at the upcoming piano party, as we're talking about with CBSO, you're going to be performing Vivaldi's Spring, which is very appropriate because we're all waiting for spring to happen as I look outside my window here in downtown Toronto. Spring from the Four Seasons. What draws you personally to this piece?
Well, I love Baroque music. The Baroque era is actually my favorite era. In fact, my favorite composer of all time is Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach.
Yeah,
And so, um, and I really love the Four Seasons in general as well. But one thing that I really love about Vivaldi is that he wrote his own poems for the Four Seasons, right? And then he put those words into music to really enhance that musicality. And that's what I really love about that. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that. That's really neat. Um, yeah, so Spring is such a vivid and descriptive work. So,
Mhm.
and how do you bring out its imagery in your interpretation?
Well, so with Vivaldi writing those poems, when I play it, I'm trying to have those scenes and those images in my head as I play, so that I can try to express his words through my music.
Yeah, that's neat. That's neat. So imagining a scene, like if you think of the film Fantasia from Walt Disney, do you know that film?
I think I do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the I see if I get this right. The imagery was generated by the cartoon artists when they would listen to the piece. So for example, Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony is a great interpretation of spring and animals frolicking through the fields. Do you have some kind of imagery like that when you're playing the Vivaldi?
I do, yeah. For example, like in the second movement of the spring, it's about a shepherd and his goat and his a shepherd and his goat and his sheep along with his dog, and I have that imagery in my head as I play that movement.
Nice, nice. That's great. Do you have an area like a mountainous region, Peru or somewhere in Europe and Switzerland or Australia?
I don't really have like a
No,
specific
I'm
place.
just
I
being
just like
silly.
a fantasy world in my head. Yeah.
Fantasy World is great. So you're very active in other orchestras and chamber groups, often serving as co-concert master. How do those collaborative experiences influence you as a soloist?
Well, being in orchestra and in chamber has taught me a lot. And one thing that I've learned a lot is that really everything is chamber music. In chamber, you're collaborating and working with others to create this beautiful blend of sound, um, this one big sound together. Um, and orchestra is really the same thing. But with like a much larger group or a much larger ensemble. But your section, your part fits into this huge work, and then your part also like might you have to communicate with people even if they're all the way in the back of the section to
Yeah,
right. And so as a violinist, like my part might correlate with the French horns who are all the way on the other side where I have to communicate with them. Um, and I have to we have to match each other and we have to create this beautiful blend. And so what I've learned as for solo is it's also really chamber music. If I'm playing for example, I'm playing solo violin with orchestra. I have to communicate with the rest of the orchestra, and we have to create this beautiful music together. And I think that's one thing that orchestra and chamber has really taught me about being a soloist.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. So, alongside violin, you also study piano. So, how does that playing a second instrument, how does that shape your overall musicianship?
Well, I think that learning piano with violin has really made me a more well-rounded musician. Piano has given me a very clear understanding of things like harmony and of chord progressions and um, how different musical lines would fit together. Especially since with piano you have to play like both hands together and and you have to read two different clefs at the same time, right? Um, and so that really helps me to kind of interpret how I want to play one line from on the violin more thoughtfully. And I think that's one way that piano's really helped me with my understanding of music and also in my playing in music.
Yeah, 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 it's great. And speaking of that, so you're a grade 11 student, balancing school and a busy performance schedule. So how do you manage your time and stay focused? So do you practice 2 hours a day on violin and 2 hours a day on piano, or like how, and then you have your rehearsals? How does that work?
Well, yeah, time management is definitely a skill that I've learned through this. Um, but comparing with like school and music, I'm a student at the Unionville High School in Markham, where they have their arts program. And so I'm very lucky to be in the arts program. And because of that, my teachers, for academic things, they're always very understanding and supportive of my performances or my schedule if I need to get an extension or I need to postpone a test or something like that. They're always very understanding because of the arts program. Um, like for example, last year I participated in the National Youth Orchestra of Canada, and I had to leave 2 weeks early. And so they were really understanding of being able to be very
Accommodate then.
flexible with
Yeah.
their schedule and stuff.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, are you going to be doing TSYO again next year?
Well, I'm not exactly sure yet. Next year with grade 12 and auditions, I might feel a little overwhelmed with
Yeah.
that. Again with time management and just
Yeah.
knowing how much I can take with all of the things that I do have. But even if I don't go to TSYO next year, I had great experiences from the past 5 years, and
Yeah.
I love going to their concerts either way. Yeah,
Yeah. And for those who don't know, TSYO means Toronto Symphony Youth Orchestra.
yeah.
So looking ahead, what are your goals as a musician and what excites you most about the future? So you're going to grade 12 next year. After that, is it university, conservatory, Juilliard, Eastman? What are you going to do?
Well, I do want to go to a conservatory. I want to pursue music as a career. Um, in the future, I really, looking forward, I really just want to do it all. I want to be in an orchestra. I want to have a be in a professional chamber group. I want to be a soloist, and I want to also be able to, I want to teach at a university level, um, and give master classes, travel the world, all of that. Yeah.
It's fun.
Um,
Definitely can be fun. It's
yeah.
swimming, but it's fun. So finally, what advice would you give to young musicians who are just starting out?
Well, um, for background, I'm really lucky to be again in the arts program at my school, and then at the Taylor Academy and in TSYO. And what I learned from that is how I've met so many amazing people who share this passion for music that I do, and so my advice would be to just really just meet those people, make friendships, and with people who share your passion for music, because music is always much more fun when you get to play with your friends.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely agree. 100%. So, well, thank you so much, Tina. This has been a great pleasure speaking with you. We're all looking forward to your performance on April 18th, two performances on April 18th, where on Saturday, April 18th at the Chinese Cultural Center of Greater Toronto, we are having an open house, free open rehearsal with the full orchestra on stage in the PC Ho Theater, where you're going to be performing part of the Vivaldi in rehearsal kind of format. And then 8 p.m. that same evening is the actual concert that you're going to be performing. So it's going to be great. All the information's on our website at cathedralbluffs.com. And thanks so much for joining me today, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.